We're here. Like, this is new to us. Like, we're just starting out. We're just starting to look at homes. And so this is actually early on stages.
That is so exciting for you guys. And where are you living at now?
So we live in Oakland by the lake.
Oh my gosh, I love it down there. Very cool. Well, hey, I just want to make sure that you guys are able to go check out those other couple properties after our meeting. So if that does work out for you guys, let me know. And then I'll send out those property entry forms. And last thing, Elias, is I always strive to meet or exceed expectations. And Zillow's going to be sending over a quick little survey. If you can, please fill that out. And I'll look forward to seeing you this afternoon. Any other questions?
No.
Right on. I'll see you then, Elias. Take care.
Cool. Awesome. All right. So great job, you guys. I want to talk about tone and pitch, right? If her voice was recorded right now and you can see the pitches and it was recorded, even from the onset, hey, it's Cynthia, how are you, right? And so she has this variation in her tone and her pitch that goes up with her excitement. It gets a little bit lower. Great. So it's like you have people like hanging on to that, right? When you change your voice inflection, you come down a little bit, but then it's like people get excited and it helps them move through the presentation versus, hi guys, how are you? This is Elias. I'm super monotone. And how do you feel about this? Great. Are you excited? Because I'm excited. I can't wait to meet you. Can't wait to meet your daughter and your family. And oh my God, great, cool. See you tomorrow, 123 Main Street, right? If there was a pulse on that, it would be like this. Hers is like this, constant spiking. It's like, shit, she's sure to wake somebody up, right? So I loved it. The only polishing point is at the end, you made it seem like, well, if you're not able to go to those other properties, you already set the tone. Here's what we're going to do. Then you kind of said, well, if that doesn't work for you, let me know. It was like solid. And then it was like, well, wait a minute. Why is she saying that? Right? You've already said this is what we're going to do. Now you're giving me an out? Hell no. I set this all up for you guys. We're ready to rock and roll tomorrow. We're going to see all those properties that fit the criteria. Looking forward to meeting you and Jen. That's it. So good stuff overall, Cynthia. Cool. Johnny boy.
Yeah, that was great. I think one thing with the motivation, and everybody's doing this, is because of the way Elias is answering the question about like where he's at in the home buying journey, like you're not really getting any, you know that he's just getting started, but you don't really know anything about his motivation. So I think like when somebody's like, I'm just getting started, you can say like, cool, like what was the spark or what got you thinking about owning? Because that's going to help you get information that you can actually use. Like knowing that he's just getting started is helpful, but knowing that he's just getting started because they're miserable in their 1-bedroom condo and they need more space, or they just got a bunch of cash from something and so they, you know, they have the money to finally do it. Like asking one more question following up based on his response, I think, to get a little more information. And then on the PED real quick, I think with everyone's explanation, and if you read the form, it really emphasized this. Like I think mentioning also that one of like the main criteria is that like you haven't been exposed to the virus recently, or you haven't, you know, you don't have any symptoms. Because like if you say like, yeah, I just want to make sure, you know, verify we haven't been exposed to the virus, and someone's like, well, my wife just took a COVID test yesterday and we're waiting for the results, like that person can't really go see the property. Like if you go show a property to that person and then they got a positive test result back, like you're now calling the listing agent because you just toured someone. Like I think mentioning that part of the purpose of the PED is to make sure that the people that are touring haven't had any recent exposure. I think that's more important than mentioning like wearing a mask. Like I don't even mention masks ever because people need masks to go anywhere these days. They're going to assume that they need to wear a mask. So I think mentioning that like exposure or symptoms or something along those lines, because that's what the form is if you actually read it. But I'm just looking for things to, you know, nitpick because it was so good that I need to say something.
That's good stuff. And think about this. Whenever you get a response from a client, like, all right, well, elaborate, tell me more. So you say that you're kind of unhappy with renting. So elaborate, tell me a little bit more. Right? So it's like you get to the third level. The third level is the true emotional reasons why they want to purchase property, right? So it's like, all right, wow, that's interesting. Tell me a little bit more, elaborate. And then they're going to be able to open back up. So elaborate, tell me more, tell me more. Kenny, how about from you?
I thought it was really good, had really good tone. You guys pretty much covered it.
Okay, good stuff. So let's hear from one other person. I'm going to change, John, I'm going to make you the host. Yes. So let's hear from one other person. Cynthia, we put you through the ringer last week. Or excuse me, Samantha, we put you through the ringer last week. So
I want to hear Sam too. I was hoping she would go first.
Yeah. So
that was the plan.
We put you through the ringer last week. You did a great job. Like I said, throw the notes out the window.
Not doing it
From
today.
here,
Yeah.
don't be a cerebral player. So
I'm
we're
just not going to look at you guys because for some reason you make me nervous. I don't know why.
So I'm going to eliminate my video if that helps in any way, shape, or form. So we'll go on 3, 2, 1, same criteria.
I'm calling John.
Call me.
Okay. Ring, ring, ring.
Hello.
Hey, Elias, it's Samantha with EXP Realty calling you back about 123 Main Street.
Hi.
Hi, we're all set for tomorrow at 3 o'clock. I just wanted to confirm that with you.
Okay.
So I also did send over some properties already. Did you have a chance to check those out?
I did not.
Okay, no worries. Check those out when you can. And let me know if there's any you don't want to check out. Now, is anybody going to be joining us previewing tomorrow?
Yeah, my girlfriend's going to be joining us. Her name's Jen.
Okay, great. What's her full name?
Jennifer Oak, O-U-K.
And her email, please.
It's Jen Oak at fastagents.com.
Perfect. I'm going to be sending over a PED form. It's basically just a COVID protocol form, making sure we're respecting social distancing, wearing masks, and that neither of you have been exposed to COVID in the last 30 days.
Okay.
So if you have any questions about that, feel free to reach out. Don't hesitate. Again, we're all set for those properties tomorrow, but if you do want to take any off the list, let me know and I'll go ahead and do that. Now, where are you currently at in the home buying journey?
Well, you know what? I didn't really grow up with much. And so I wanted to be able to provide a lifestyle for my kids. And so that's really where we're at. We're at the stage where we want to provide better security for our children. Excuse me.
I totally understand. My mom rented my whole life growing up, so I understand how important homeownership is. I couldn't agree with you more. Okay, great. So how quickly are you looking to move into your new home potentially?
Ideally within the next 3 months.
Awesome. Okay, great. Have you connected with any lenders at all?
I haven't.
Okay, great. So what I'd like to do is connect you with my top 3 preferred lenders. Just to get the pre-approval process started, we want to make sure we're ready to go when we want to submit an offer on your home, and we can't do that unless we get you pre-approved.
Okay.
So I'm going to connect you with 3 of my top preferred lenders, and
Okay.
I would love to give them your contact info as well. Are you okay with that?
I'm fine with that.
Great. Okay, so we'll get that started. We're all set for our appointments tomorrow at 3. I will be sending you a Google Calendar invite to confirm our showings tomorrow. Again, if you have any questions about the PED, please let me know. I look forward to seeing you. And one last thing, I just want to let you know Zillow will be sending over a survey, just checking that I'm providing excellent service. So keep an eye out for that, okay?
Okay.
All right, we're all set. Thank you so much for your time. I'll see you tomorrow.
Good stuff. You guys, if you heard her presentation last week, this is a complete 180 from last week. You know, once again, when I talk to you, I feel like you're 100% in control, right? Here's what we're going to do. Here's what we're going to do, right? But I also want you to be cognizant of who is on the other line of the call, right? If you are dealing with somebody that is a super amiable person, that is super emotional, you know, you might want to just slow your tone a little bit. Hey, hi, how are you? Great. Well, hold on, like hold my hand a little bit, right? Just hold my hand before we go out and dance, right? So it's like I think using hello, hey, it's Samantha, how are you, right? And like embracing that moment for a second. I feel like it's just quick.
I feel like I also speed up here though. I need to.
Yeah, and totally, I get it. And then when I told you that I want to provide security, I love that you gave me a little glimpse of your mom. She ran forever. And they're like, good, sounds good. And then it's like, that was it. That was your in. Like that was a moment for you to build a little bit of rapport. Be like, good, sounds good, great, good, moving on. I was a renter too. And there was just a moment there where I felt you could have dove in a little bit deeper. But if I compare it to last week's, 100% better. Great job. Great job. Johnny boy, how about for you?
Yeah, I mean, if we're just talking about overall like tone and delivery, like that's definitely a huge step. And that, like I was saying last week, I think you're someone that the setting of just sitting and staring at the screen and all these people looking at you really kind of messes up your rhythm. And the rhythm of that call, while I agree with Elias, like it was still a little too like fast from moving on to one thing to the other. Just the overall feel, it was so much better. Like it was a lot more natural on your part. So yeah, like Les said, like take a little more time to kind of like take in what they're saying before you move on to the next thing. But I mean, still, it sounded great.
It
Thank you.
almost feels like you are thinking about what I'm going to say prior to me saying it, because you're so quick to respond, right? So take a second to
Process.
breathe, process, then react, versus react with, yeah, good, yeah, my mom was a renter. Anyways, moving on. Right? So, that right there, that smile, that laughter, I want to feel some of that over the phone. Kenny, how about for you?
Yeah, it was really fast. But you knew all the right words. So I think there could be some room for improvement. Something cool I learned from Clubhouse last week or someone said that if you scrambled or like took out all the letters and listen, the anagram for that is silent. You can't have listen without silence. So that was like, that's pretty cool. So, you know, like a lot of good listeners are. Another Clubhouse person on a different chat said, you know, there's 3 ways of listening. You listen, and then you respond with your opinion. You listen just to wait for the next person to say something, or you just listen and with no feedback. But that's just a random thing. But for you, like, you need to stop and just have them talk a little bit, and like purposely have some pauses in there. Like I've said in some calls too, like when I talk to clients, I obviously talk fast, and because I'm in my comfortable setting. When I talk to clients on the phone with my partners, whether it's listen call, buyer call, many times, they're like, "Are you still there?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm still listening." I purposely like don't say anything all the time. It makes them confused. It makes them more like into the conversation. So for here, you knew all the right words to say, but you need to stop at certain times, catch your breath. Also, if you're not catching your breath, you're probably talking really fast just so you can get everything out. So you need to stop and pause. But then that was really good if you just had some breaks in there.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I mean, in comparison to last week, like really good job. So takeaway for you, just breathe, process.
Yeah, just like there's something about the way there's something about the way you say the next thing that makes it sound like you weren't listening to the you didn't take it.
Okay, that's good to know.
So
I wouldn't know that unless you guys told me. So
no,
that's what this is for, right?
Good stuff. Elias, did you make me the host?
I did make you the host, you guys. I'm gonna bounce, and sorry I have to leave.
No, I have a coaching call at 11.
I gotta leave in a couple minutes, but hey, Dewey,
Dude, just take over it.
No, I just wanted to real quick. Dewey, call me and explain the PED.
Good stuff.
Oh, he's on the call. All right. Do we still have Christina? Can you hop on for 2 seconds? Christina, how do you explain the PED?
You don't really want to know. Okay, so I just pretty much tell them that that I'm going to send over a document that's required due to the COVID requirements. So it covers just the safety measures that we have to abide by to enter any home.
Yeah, and I think that's fine because theoretically they're reading it and signing it. So I just tell people, hey, there's this COVID entry form we need to sign. If you have any questions about it, let me know.
I think
I add a little bit more, but
yeah, but like I find if I go into it too deep, like wear the mask, do this, do that, then it's just like, oh my God, you know. But if you just tell them straight up, like to enter the home, it's a requirement to enter any home that we go into. And then I kind of pry, like, are you familiar with the form? So if they tell me they're familiar with the form, I know that they've already worked with another agent or they've seen homes somewhere else. So that also is a cue for you to ask them, you know, if they're working with somebody, maybe not on the first call, but on the second call, you just really want to make sure you're not spinning your wheels, wasting your time because they're working with 5 other agents.
Yeah, that's awesome. And that's a next level pro tip. And that's what's cool. Have like people like Christina and Dewey jumping on is that is a great sign. Because if you explain the PED to someone that's theoretically just getting started and they're like, oh yeah, I signed that before. You're like, wait a second, like, why have you signed that before? So it's a cue to maybe pry a little bit more. Dewey, are you off your call?
I wasn't really on the call. You put me on the spot and I was just like, oh shit.
You have to look up what a PED was so you can explain it. How do you explain the PED?
I do it even worse than Christina does. I'm all text messages. I'm like, hey, like I have to send you this PED. Is anybody else coming? And they're like, yeah, there's like 4 of us. I'm like, okay, well, you know, I need 2 of you guys to sign off and then explain that, hey, it's like 2 buyers, 1 agent, and then have them review it. I don't really dive that deep into it. Like I let them read it themselves.
Well, and
But yeah,
that's
I
what
basically, just, if they ask what it is, I'm like, hey, it's the COVID addendum form that's required for us to enter the property. And then I literally leave it at that and let them read it themselves.
Cool. Well, I mean, there's a bit, I think that that's helpful because that I think the message we're trying to get across is you can really simplify your explanation. One of the key points is just to explain that it's required for every property and then kind of move on. And I wanted to have you guys talk about how you did it because on some of these people are getting into like way too much detail about the PED, and just hearing it from you that you can make it really straightforward and simple, I think is helpful. But all right, sorry for making it a short one today. I got to run over to the Brentwood office and check on that place, and Elias and Kenny had to jump. But thank you, doing Christina, for jumping on too. We're encouraging more of the experienced agents to come on too, just to kind of see what insights they can provide. And
I'm a brand new agent, so I'm just here with you guys.
I remember when he was a brand new agent, and it wasn't very long ago, and now he's selling like way too much.
John, real quick before you finish.
Yeah, of course.
The thing here with these calls that you are doing, I think the problem what I encounter, what I'm seeing, and that happens to me, is mainly when you're in a video call, it's very intimidating. But when you're on the phone, your tone
So
comes
different.
natural. So
Yeah.
I think that's what I have to do, because I know all of us can do the call, answer, and all that properly, because we all know that's what we go to school, we study,
Totally.
we take tests. I think it's mainly the fact that we are on a video call.
Yeah,
And
I agree.
for
And,
me-
and
for
yeah,
me,
I agree. And it's not a natural call. Like you're trying to like check certain boxes, and we're trying to. It's it's just not a natural setting. But like
Right.
you know what a couple people did today, where they essentially kind of, when they were doing the role play in the call, like faced away from the screen and just talk more like they're on the phone. Like we're fine with that. If you want to just like literally or call in from your phone, because when you're on Zoom on your phone, you can call in from your phone and you can actually like turn your video off and hold it up like you're talking on the phone. If you want to do that when you're practicing your calls, like going forward, I mean, I'm totally cool with that. I'm sure Elias and Kenny will
I think
be
it's
too.
a lot better.
I think it'll make it more natural. So yeah, that sounds good. Well, cool. So if anyone has any questions, feel free to reach out to me at any time. Otherwise, enjoy your extra 10 minutes since we're cutting it early. Have a great day out there.
You too.
Thank
Take
you.
care, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.